Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast. A little Buckeye Blitz action this week. I'm your host, Chase Johns. To my right, we got, is that Matt Ricketts with a new haircut?
Matt Ricketts, freshman
what's
haircut,
up?
boys. New haircut. The Buckeye Blitz is here, baby. We're turning and burning. It's college football week 1, and it's time to take down the Akron Zips.
Most definitely. This is an extension of what we're normally doing with the Cut to the Chase Sports Podcast, which we'll get to you guys on Tuesday nights, and we'll give the whole college football rundown on that. But this specifically for the Buckeyes. I do a Bengals show, do a Buckeye show. Here we go. Drop down. Brady, who's actually in Columbus on campus at Ohio State. Brady, what's up?
Not much. Just really excited. Week 1, obviously, it's been such a long off season. I mean, it also feels like it's flown by, but it's been such a long off season. It's crazy that this weekend you finally have Ohio State football, and it's been well anticipated. This is one of the more anticipated seasons in a long time, so very excited. There's been energy around campus for sure, and like more students than ever are trying to go to the game. Now they always sell out season tickets, but like people are trying to buy people's like crazy. Like it's just like everyone is hyped about this season, and I'm one of those people, so I'm really excited to get into this episode.
There's good reason to be hyped about this because we talked about this all off season, and now the talk can kind of end in that regard of, oh, what do we want to see? Because, hey, we're about to see it on Saturday. We play Akron at 3:30 p.m. on CBS. If you guys are watching this video, listening to us, please like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. We appreciate all the support. But, yes, Ohio State plays Akron at 3:30 p.m. on CBS. The Big Ten on CBS fully takes over. It's going to be kind of weird in that regard. But off that note, Ohio State football's back. I mean, this is going to be fun to watch and everything. But we'll get into some storylines with that. Brady, what's a storyline that comes just the first thing that comes to mind when you're looking at just Ohio State football in general leading up to this game?
Yeah. So, I mean, it's the obvious one, but we also have to talk about it. It's the quarterback. It's what will Will Howard do? What will he look like in this offense? And obviously, it is Akron. It's not one of the better opponents we'll play. But in my opinion, you can still tell how good someone's going to be based off these games. Like Kyle played Indiana last year and looked awful week 1. He was average at best. And Indiana's not a good team. So I'm really excited to see how Will Howard can operate throughout the offense, his decision-making, and just his ability to make throws. Like, I'm excited to see what he brings to the table in the run game too, but I'm really excited to see how Will Howard can play with better receivers than he's had in the past.
Yeah, it's going to be a big focal point. I mean, obviously, giving a guy $1 million, we knew he was going to be the starter this year. This is, a big thing for us with having a guy that played at Kansas State for a few years, won a Big 12 championship, and putting him in our offense under Chip Kelly and everything. So it's going to be big to see. Matt, storyline, something that just jumps off the page for you when looking at this leading up to game week.
For me, it's just, I guess the biggest thing I'm watching this week is the offensive line. Just see it, how good. We have a bunch of guys coming back up there, and the new transfer, Seth McLaughlin, center from Alabama. We're looking to see who's going to play right guard. Me and Brady were talking about it earlier. We think it's going to be Tegro Shabola. But Ryan Day still said he's not 100% sure yet. So we're looking to see, who fills out that right guard spot, that fifth offensive lineman role. But I'm actually pretty excited. I think it's a pretty good group of guys up there with Josh Simmons, Donovan coming back, and Josh Fryer as well. So I'm excited for them. I think they're going to be good. But Brady obviously took the number one storyline, quarterback. But I'll go with the offensive line as well for the second one for me.
Yeah, and I mean, you're not going to be able to win football games if you don't win the line of scrimmage. Matthew, you know that, being the greatest Kenton Ridge center in history. So you know that, okay? Man, yes. But yeah, I mean, again, if you don't control the line of scrimmage on either side of the football, you're not going to win the game. And with Ohio State bringing back a bunch of guys and trying to fill in some transfers and everything else, it's going to be big for them to try to win the line of scrimmage early and often, especially early in the season. And then later on in the season, when you go to Autzen Stadium to play against Oregon, when you go on the road to play against Penn State, when you play the game, it's going to be huge stuff for that offensive line to get that camaraderie down and just be on the same page. And that's why you can't I'm not gonna say overlook these early season games, but that's why you can't take these for granted. So these kind of reps matter when it comes to October, November, December. But gotta love the offensive line right there. We mentioned about the right guard battle, and I believe both of you guys agreed on that. But when it comes to the will linebacker position, you guys both agree on that as well. It's between Sonny Styles and CJ Hicks, and I mean we're all pretty much rocking Sonny Styles to be the guy.
Oh yeah.
So what's the pure difference between the two players? You would say. I'll throw it back to Matthew for this.
I mean, Sonny's faster. I mean, they're both pretty athletic guys, to be honest with you. But I just think the difference is CJ Hicks is a bust. I just don't think he's very good. So that's why. I mean, that's really what it is. As a 5-star, he would have made some sort of impact on the field by now if he was any good. Hopefully, I'm wrong, and hopefully he gives us depth at that position this year. But I mean, Sonny Styles is a freak, and I just don't really have a whole lot of faith in CJ Hicks in general. I think really Ryan just says Sonny's the leader in the clubhouse is what is actually the quote I think that was given by him for that spot. I think he just says that. I mean, he's moving down from safety to linebacker, so it's just I don't know. Maybe that's why he's hesitant to give him the starting job right away. I don't exactly know, but he's definitely going to end up being the starter and play there over CJ Hicks.
Let's swing it down to Brady. What makes you more confident in Sonny Styles than you would say CJ Hicks or the latter?
I think it's probably because Sonny Styles has already started 13 games under his belt on the defense. Now, it was a different position, so that does matter. But honestly, the best moments Sonny Styles had last year were when we brought him down into the box. He had a really big tackle for loss against, I believe it was Wisconsin. It was a sack actually on the quarterback on a third. I think it was a third down where the QB tried to scramble and Sonny hawked him down. And then on 4th and 1 against Notre Dame, I think we all remember this quarterback sneak. Hartman had to bounce it out, and Sonny scraped the gap and just stoned Hartman, and he didn't. So Sonny has really done more at linebacker already in the sense that for Ohio State than CJ Hicks.
Yeah.
Now I still think CJ Hicks has potential to be a good player, and I know it's definitely not been what we've hoped so far. He's probably not the best linebacker in the country like he was in high school and all that. So he's not going to live up to that hype in my opinion, but I just hope he can be a serviceable backup. But to be honest with you, there's another linebacker that I think could be better than either one of them. That could be the backup at Mike, because we all know Cody Simon's going to start there. That I'll bring up a little bit later.
Okay. And we can actually take later to now. Buying stock into heading into week 1. Brady, do you want to give me that guy right now in this segment, or do you want to wait a little later?
How many are we going to take turns and like pick 3 players each?
Yeah, we can go back and forth and everything else, because Matt wants to buy stock into someone who is very good already, but is not going to fail. So we're going to start off with Brady. Who's your first pick? And then we'll go over to Matt on players we're buying stock in heading into the season.
I'll buy stock in Arvell Reese right off the bat. Cleveland Glenville, sophomore standout. Linebacker at a high school, extreme athleticism. There's no team with 3 athletes at linebacker like the ones we have in Sonny Styles, CJ Hicks, and Arvell Reese. Arvell, I mean, my gosh, like this dude's a freak. Last year he played D-end a little bit, and he's 6'4". He's going to play Mike. He's humongous, very strong. And he was actually named defensive MVP of our second inter-squad scrimmage overall. So I'm really excited for Arvell Reese, and I think when he gets in there in the game that he's going to make plays, and next he'll be a starting linebacker his junior year for sure, in my opinion. So I'm excited. I'm definitely going to buy stock in him right now.
Arvell Reese is Brady's pick on this round of things. Matt, give me a pick for you. Hey, again, we'll plug this. Matt's pick is coming back this season. But Matt, we're talking about a pick here of an Ohio State player for buying stock. Who do you got right now?
I'm going to go with Tegra Shabula. I think he's going to be a good player. Strong, very strong. I believe he might be the strongest player on the team. I can't remember. He's up there.
I think it's Donovan, but yeah, he's really strong too.
I think he's going to be very good. I think he'll help solidify that right guard spot, the fifth spot on the offensive line. He might be our worst one, but I don't think it matters because I think they're all pretty good. So it'll help, just with the running backs we have. I mean, it's going to be great this year. Our offensive line could be really, really good. So I'm going to take Tegra Shabula.
All right. So Tegra Shabula, and then we'll pass it back to Brady on this one. His second one. Who is your second pick for buying stock?
So my second one is going to be a dude that has been playing here for a while, going into his last season. It's Lathan Ransom, safety. I think that Lathan is very underappreciated. People don't bring him up in the national discussion as much in terms of being like one of the best safeties in the country. I do think he is one of the best safeties in the country, and I think that he's going to prove that this year. And it's like I think it's big time he came back, and expect to see him make plays and just be a veteran presence on this defense. He'll hit you in the run game. He'll defend the pass. He's honestly better in the run game than he is the pass game, but it's not like he's bad in the pass game. And I think he's going to have a huge year, really.
All right. We'll go over to Matt. Matt, who's your second?
I'm going to buy stock in Jeremiah Smith. I know it's really high already, but he is a fail-proof player. He might be our best player already before we even see him on the field. So I'm buying stock in Jeremiah Smith.
All right, easy enough. Brady, third one. Who you got?
I don't. Real quick before I say this, I don't mean to go off topic, but
Okay.
Jeremiah Smith, like the final storyline that I got up, I wasn't going to bring it up.
What happened?
I think he froze. Oh my goodness. Well,
He was about to say some BS about Jeremiah Smith, so that's good.
hey, he wanted to keep going about that. I mean, he was giving you something on that, but Matt, actually, let me get your third pick on this. I don't know what's going on with Brady. We'll try to get him.
I'm going to buy stock in Cody Simon too. I think he's going to be a good player. I mean, he's obviously a senior this year. He's been a contributor for a while, but I think he'll solidify the Mike linebacker spot for us. And
all right.
He'll be a good player. So I'm going to buy stock in him.
All right. So we got Cody Simon. So let's go through. You said Tegra Shabula, you had Jeremiah Smith, and Cody Simon as your three.
Yes, I sure did.
All right. Before we get Brady back in here, I'll let Matt go on a little bit about this. You live, breathe, and die Ohio State football. All right.
Yes, I do.
That's a pretty accurate statement. How confident do you feel, like when you talk about ranking the teams that we've had of the past since you've been watching Ohio State football, how confident do you feel in this team in regards to the other teams you've seen over the last 20 years?
I mean, I'm very confident. I mean, this team is loaded, especially defensively. I feel great. I mean, there's really one question mark, and it was it's our quarter. Like, can Will Howard perform? I mean, realistically, if you look back, 22, I was very confident. I mean, we had the best offense in the country coming back, but it was kind of the unknown was the whole defense. Like, can it be good? And it wasn't really great at times down the stretch of that year. So that's how I would say I'm always confident because we're Ohio State and we should be up there every year, no matter what, because we're the most consistent program in the history of the sport. So it's not crazy to say that I'm confident every year, but I do feel really good about this year. I think Will Howard's going to be fine. I think he's going to play. I think actually people will be surprised with some of the plays he'll make in terms of moxiness, just being like not being a chicken shit out there and actually being tough and running, using his feet in his pocket when needed to use them, making plays. I think he's going to be a tough dude. I think he's a worse running but better throwing JT Barrett.
Okay, that's a way to put it.
That would be good.
I would, especially on this team, I'd like that. Now, that's not stock. Brady's computer decided to take a break for a moment. It is now back in the lineup.
I bought stock in Cody Simon.
He did buy stock in Cody Simon. Who was the third player that you were about to say, Brady, before you wanted to get on the Jeremiah Smith thing with Matt?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to Caden McDonald.
There you go.
A guy that has been named by Sonny Styles and Jim Knowles as the most underrated player on this defense. I think he'll be one of the better defensive tackles on this team and make a lot of plays when he's in there. An outside source, an offensive guard on the team, even said, not in an interview or anything exclusive, that he is the hardest D tackle to block on the team. So that's what I'm going to use as my third guy, is Caden McDonald.
Shout out Caden McDonald. That's all I got to say. K-Mac, man. Let's move on very, very briefly. Again, Ohio State does play Akron. What's the spread? Do you have a spread on this? Like, do you 50. Know what it is?
It's like 50
and a half. Okay, yes. I could trust Matt on that. You know, I could trust the guy that puts the bets down on that one. Brady, is there a guy that we should watch from Akron that we should keep an eye on?
So the guy to keep an eye on, I think, is newly named starting quarterback Ben Finley, because he started games in the Power 5. He started at NC State a couple games and Cal a couple games. So he's got experience in the Power 5. So it's going to be interesting to see his first game as an Akron Zip in the shoe as a starter. Now, do I think he's going to have a horrible game and not enjoy his first experience very much? Yes, I do believe that. I think it's not going to be a great start to his Zips career, and I don't think he should get down on himself, because that is the hardest test he could possibly have to start the year.
It's expected.
But I definitely think keeping an eye on him, like maybe he does come out there, like let's say he's making some throws and drives down the field and they score early or something, like that could happen, and definitely keep an eye on him. Other than that, we're better than them at every position. So
yeah,
they don't have a single player that would start for Ohio State. But yeah, that's my guy to watch.
And we were talking on the phone earlier. Ben Finley is the brother of Ryan Finley, I believe.
I believe so.
And again, Ryan Finley used to be the starting quarterback for the Cincinnati Bengals for like 2 games, and he beat the Steelers on a Monday Night Football game in COVID. So thank you for that. One of the best Cincinnati sports memes I've ever seen when he got a quarterback sneak, but that's off topic. So we'll see what Ben Finley's got on Saturday. Anything else? Mismatches. Ooh, that's a big one. There's a lot of mismatches across the board, but what's the biggest mismatch on the field come Saturday? Matt, do you want to start off, or do you want Brady to start off?
Yeah, I guess it'll I mean the whole team, but I would say probably our offense and defensive line versus their interior line. I mean, we're just going to be way better. So I will say the interior lines.
Okay, a man in the trenches. All right, Brady, you.
I think it's Tyleik Williams versus their interior offensive line. I don't think they're not going to face anybody nearly as good as Tyleik Williams the rest of the season. So I think he's going to like really dominate them to like another level. Not that our other guys won't. It's just like I think Tyleik will dominate them even more than like Jack and JT will dominate on the outside. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like a great D tackle like that is a little bit harder to find than a really good D end.
That is true. A guy that can take over the game from the middle of the defense. On line of scrimmage as well. We're going to do something different this year. Again, with it being a Buckeye Blitz or whatever. We're going to talk. We're going to do a little game. All right. And each and every week, no matter what Matt says about this, all right, Matt's got his own pick segment, all that stuff, but he's going to play in this game too. All right. So we're going to predict the leading rusher, the leading receiver, leading tackler, and who's going to have interceptions each and every week for all of these games that Ohio State plays in. And we're still figuring out the point system on that regard. 1 point for each if a person gets it right. But do you want to go 2 points for interceptions? Because then that's the deciding factor. Again,
2 points per interception, right? Like, so if you pick, you get to pick one player, like obviously you could pick multiple guys, but you only get to pick one.
Yeah, there's gonna be there's got to be some deciding factor.
And if your one guy gets 2 picks, then you get 4 points.
Exactly. Right? So this could be off the chain. Let's start off and let's go with our leading rusher for the game. I'm just gonna say I think it's gonna be a Travion Henderson game. I'll put that out there. Matt, who's the leading rusher on Saturday?
I also believe it's going to be Trey. I think it's a Travion Henderson game because it's a crappy team and it's the first game of the year. I just think it'll be Trey.
All right, Brady, you going Quinshawn or you gonna run the entire trend?
I'm going with Trey as well.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
I just think pretty much echoes it. First game of the year, he'll start. He'll get the first carry. Also, like their Akron speed will be less than a lot of teams we play, and he's very fast. So I could see him getting some big chunks.
All right. Now that's wash for all of us there. Receiver. This is where things could differentiate.
Yeah,
I'm going to say that I do think it'll be Emeka Egbuka. Just another, obviously, guy's been in the system, senior, everything else. I think he'll be the security blanket for Will Howard. Brady, agree? Someone else? What are you looking at?
Emeka Egbuka as well.
Okay.
He's my pick.
All right. Not much said after that.
No, I think we're all going to pick like the same people. So I'm going to switch it up and say
you
Jeremiah.
can pick Emeka.
You can pick Emeka.
I'm saying Jeremiah because I want to win. It's the only way I can win.
I'm not. Okay.
No, your interception would be.
Yeah, we'll get to that. All right. I'm just thinking.
Smith.
I'm thinking strategically, but at the same time, that there's places where you can think outside of the box. I'm just not thinking outside of the box in those two categories. Again, Jeremiah Smith.
Exactly.
There will be the leading receiver on Saturday.
Yeah.
Tackler.
Caleb Downs.
Ooh. That was my sneaky pick. I'm going to go Cody Simon.
Okay. You know what? I think Sonny Styles is going to step the fuck up. Oh, excuse me. Step up. All
wow.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah.
Wow.
He's going to hold on one second.
For the
he's
folks
gonna,
at home.
He's going to step the
For the
up,
folks
all right?
at home. The folks at home. He had to put me on a cuss word watch and then he does.
Dude, I haven't cursed like much on any of these episodes.
What the hell? What the hell?
I don't care what you say. Sonny Styles is going to step the up, all right? Here we go. Here, we'll go with that. So we all got different tacklers, but interceptions. You know what? I think Jermaine Matthews is going to have a pick. I'll go with him.
That's a good pick. Matt?
Caleb Downs.
All right.
Caleb Downs.
All right. Good. Okay.
Yep.
We got to remember this. We'll put graphics out. We'll make this a weekly thing. So if you guys are interested in it and you want to, we'll post it every week and we'll keep a tally on it. Who won each week and everything else. So
what about fumble recoveries? Do we have that?
Bro.
We
could.
You want to got a miscellaneous tab?
Miscellaneous, yeah.
Like
Something
you have a prediction that's not part of the rushing, receiving, all that stuff. We have a miscellaneous tab. You have a Will Howard throws for 6 touchdowns, or you have someone has a fumble recovery, or a kickoff return for a touchdown will happen, like something like that.
Ooh.
Do we want to go miscellaneous or not?
Yes, I got a miscellaneous right here.
Okay, what's yours?
Jack Sawyer has a strip sack.
That's it? Yeah. That's pretty miscellaneous, though. Okay, so Jack Sawyer, strip sack. Brady, miscellaneous for you.
My miscellaneous is that Caleb Downs' pick is going to be a pick 6 on the very first drive of the game.
Okay, so we're getting
their first drive.
All right. And again, miscellaneous, we'll make these worth 3 because if this happens, it's out there. I'm going to say Will Howard will have more touchdown passes than incompletions.
Ooh.
I'll roll with that.
I would love that.
We're going to roll with that.
That didn't happen with Mr. McCord.
I believe that happened with C.J. Stroud a couple times.
It happened a couple times with him and Justin Fields.
And I believe it happened a couple times against Michigan State. So
yeah, it happened a couple times. C.J. did that multiple times against Michigan State. Justin did it against Nebraska and Clemson.
And again, that's still crazy that you can recall all of that stuff. Yeah. But once again,
the Clemson one was the number 1 defense in the country, which makes that one the most well known out of those.
Yeah. So. Yep. Again, we'll talk about Clemson and Georgia on the next episode on
Clemson Addict. We're coming for you.
Everyone's coming for that guy. But hey, again, appreciate you guys watching through and everything else. We appreciate all support. You guys
Daniel
haven't yet
Harris.
liked this, subscribe. Name dropping a guy on Clemson Addict, Tulane Addict as well. All of that. I don't even care. I really don't. That's just hilarious. But yeah, like, subscribe. Appreciate all the support that you guys have given us. We'll be back for the college football show on Tuesday night. We'll be live at 7:30. We'll be going through the games, making picks, predictions for the season, the 12-team playoff, the whole entire thing. It's going to be a big show tomorrow. But once again, Matt Ricketts, Brady King, I'm Chase Johns, and we'll see you guys next time.